So ostensibly this was Jurgen Klopp's press conference to preview Liverpool's game against Wolves at Anfield on Sunday, but let's be honest, it was nothing really about that in the end. It's all about the fact that this is Jurgen Klopp's final game in charge of Liverpool coming up, and to be honest, a little bit of an emotional occasion. It's a bit of a weird one really, that we're going to be seeing a new manager previewing games from next season, and also, look, he's been part of our lives as journalists for the last 8.5 years as well. I mean, he's been, for all the changes that we've had personally and professionally, the one constant has been coming here nearly every Friday to see Jurgen Klopp and see what he was thinking about Liverpool's next game. So going to be a very, very strange one really to be seeing someone else, and got so used to him being around and being so good with us as well, so charismatic, so open in terms of his answers to questions, didn't ever shirk a question, so he's going to be really missed. So a lot of this press conference kind of focused on the bigger picture, of course, which is the fact that he was leaving. So a strange one, as I say, and he said that this week for him has been really about that as well. Obviously, a lot of goodbyes for him. He described it as the most intense week of my life, with all the goodbyes he's had to say to various staff around the place, obviously friends, because he will be moving away from Liverpool. So he said it's been a strange one in the build-up to this game for him. He said it revealed that the players had a bit of a get-together at Kirby, at the training ground where I'm at, to say goodbye to each other, a barbecue they held there to throw a party really, to say goodbye to a long-standing manager who obviously all this group of players love, and to say goodbye to some of the players who will be leaving as well, of course, because it's not just Jurgen who's going, it's the players, some coaching staff as well, and that was one of the things he spoke about actually, is he spoke about the coaching staff that will be leaving. Linders and Matos have got jobs at Red Bull Salzburg, which will start next season, and described those as very good appointments, obviously expecting them to do very well, having worked closely with them. He spoke about obviously that Andreas Kornmeier is going soon. That's a story I broke last week about the fact that the head of fitness and conditioning will be going. Also Jack Robinson, another story I broke last week about the first team assistant goalkeeping coach, mentioned that he would be leaving, and he also actually confirmed, and I don't think he was supposed to mention this, but it's a story that broke in the last week or so, that John Achterberg will be joining Steven Gerrard at Al Ettifaq. So I think that's one where Jurgen kind of slipped up actually confirming that, but we have now finally had confirmation that that's where John Achterberg is going for a new challenge, so we'll be leaving the club this summer. And in terms of the players who are leaving, he was also asked about that and spoke about those. Obviously confirmed today that Thiago, Alcantara and Joel Matip will both be leaving the club when the contracts expire this summer. And on Thiago, now we know, I know personally that was, that signing was very much one that he wanted to take on. Always been a massive fan of Thiago and really wanted to get him in his squad at Liverpool if he could, and obviously got the opportunity to do that when he was leaving Bayern Munich. And he spoke about the fact that the good and the bad of Thiago, obviously, which is that he's a fantastic footballer, unbelievable footballer, but he's had all those injuries that have marred his time at Liverpool. And he said, I'd like to see him in a parallel world where he didn't have the injuries, because he was a player who, when I used to watch him, he could do things that you didn't even think were possible. So wax lyrical about Thiago, who will be leaving this summer. And on Joel Matip, he said, listen, a world-class footballer, but also extremely humble, a type of humility you don't often get to see, and also extremely funny, which anyone who's ever met Joel Matip can absolutely attest to that. He's a strange and funny character, as well as being a marvellous footballer, but again, someone else who's been plagued by injuries, and you can understand on both counts really why Liverpool haven't handed out new contracts to both players. Now, he was asked about his highlights at his time at Liverpool in terms of what were the best games he could remember, best moments, and what he felt summed up his time in charge, and he reeled off some really interesting ones actually. He said the best football he felt that Liverpool had played in his time in charge was actually this season. It was against Manchester City at Anfield, and I remember him saying at the time actually that even though Liverpool had beaten City and got better results than the draw they got that day, he thought that was the best actual football, the best he played against City, the way they played through them, the way they played through the lines, and City couldn't control them. Obviously City are going to be champions, so that's saying a lot in terms of how impressed he was by that. He said his favourite goal was Alisson Becker against West Brom in the Champions League run-in, the one that secured Liverpool top four, wasn't it? Obviously that was his favourite goal that was scored. His favourite assist was Trent against Barcelona. No real surprises on that one, let's be honest. And his favourite save, of course, was Alisson Becker against Napoli, a key moment in Liverpool going on to win the Champions League that season. So obviously there was more to it in terms of some wide-ranging answers on the emotion of leaving the city as well, which I don't really want to go into these because I think these are ones where you should go out and have a look for the clip that it'll be on Liverpool's official YouTube channel, and look for the clips about him speaking emotionally about the city and what it's meant to him, the people, and also what it means to him that having been given the freedom of the city back in 2022. I don't think I can give a fair summary of those answers. I really do urge you to go and find those, but that's I just thought the way he speaks so beautifully about the city, it's really left a mark on him, and I think that really sums up that it's not just about what he's achieved here as a football manager, is it? It's that emotional connection he's generated with the people of the city, and that is why, as much as what he's achieved in terms of trophies, he will go down as a Liverpool legend, not just a Liverpool FC legend, but a legend really of the city itself, because of he's totally understood that emotional connection with the fans and just the wider city, and that's he really will miss living here as much as he misses the football club itself. Now, when we got to the end of the press conference and he asked for the cameras to be switched off, and I don't want to go too deeply in this because I think it was a moment, a private moment really, so I don't really want to go into exactly what was said, but he had some really kind words for the journalists who he'd worked with closely during his time at the club, and was very sort of very nice words to all of us who have been there throughout the times, and said basically that there can be crosswords from time to time. That's the nature of the relationship, isn't it? But that he's always been, thought we've always acted with respect, and obviously we have great respect for Jurgen Klopp. He's been marvellous to us, hasn't he? I think everyone in that room professionally absolutely loves him because he never shied away from answering the tough questions, always spoken about social issues, obviously always been a world-class manager, and it's always much more fun to cover a club that is winning trophies, but the way he's handled himself off the pitch and the way he's answered every question we've thrown at him, I just think that is testament to the man, and that's something we'll absolutely miss. And again, the fact that he wanted to speak to the journalists and say such kind words today, I think that says everything about Jurgen Klopp as a person, that he is he's a great guy as well as a great football manager. Now, that's my summary of the press conference. A couple of things I wanted to note while we're here as well is that Jota, Thiago and Andy Robertson all spotted in training yesterday, so does that give them a chance for Wolves? It'll be interesting. I think Jota and Robertson, I wouldn't be surprised to see them back in the squad, given that obviously they haven't been out for too long. Robertson only missed one match, Jota only been out for a couple of weeks or so. Thiago, we'll have to see whether he gets in the squad. Obviously it's been a bit more of a long-term injury, hardly played this season, and Liverpool do have options at this moment, but to be honest, who really cares? I don't think it matters too much about who's in the squad on Sunday, does it? Or even what the result is. The whole day is all going to be about Jurgen Klopp and that emotional farewell, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of tears in the stands, a lot of tears on the pitch amongst the players, and this manager who's an emotional guy, and that really is going to be what the day is all about. Now, I of course will be there at Anfield to give you a blow-by-blow of the game itself. Maybe not too much analysis of that, maybe more about the emotion of the occasion and Jurgen Klopp leaving and what comes next. So make sure you subscribe to follow along to that if you don't, and if you can always like the video, it's massively helpful to growing the channel. I keep saying it, but we're going into a period now where it's all about transfers, and I'll be bringing all my insight and everything I know about that in the coming months, so it's a really, really important and good time to get on board. But I'm going to leave it there, and of course I will see you from Anfield for the game, so I'll see you guys soon.